Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Alright, guys, so whoever pops in, whoever doesn't. So if you guys catch the stream after I do it already, thanks for popping in. So we're going to be doing a little bit of some steelhead fishing here on Fishing Planet over on the California map, or San Joaquin Delta. And we're going to first start out, we're going to hop in the boat that we got, and we're going to take a little trip on over to the dam. Alright, let's see what we got. There we go. Why are my fireworks coming out? Alright. Alright, so you're gonna go, if you want to do just some steelhead fishing on this map, what I usually do is I get in the boat, and right where that point is, right dead center there with the reeds right there, I usually just line my boat up. Right about here. Right where the depth changes to about 10 to 15, like it is now. So, alright, so how we're going to do this is just kind of how you would do it in real life. You're just going to use egg sacs on the one, and then the other one I might set up with some live minnows. So there's a spawn sack on that one. And then we're going to put the minnows on the bottom. So let's switch over to the float rod. It's about 11 feet, it's 11 times 12, so about 121. Now we can't do that for a lead or so. Couldn't do... Oh my god, is that geese noises on here even? I hate geese with a passion. Alright. And then for our just cast around setup, we're going to use a X series barbless spinner, 1/2 ounce, number 3/0 hook. So let's see what we get here. On this one you can do, ooh, there we go, already. Oh, you're running at me, I'm losing this fish. Yep, I ain't getting this fish. Oh, I got to him. Where was that guy with the boat? I heard a boat. He went the other way. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I can go all the way up to almost the full thing with drag, but I don't think I really want to do that. It looks like it's a Chinook. We got on there right now. Come on. There we go. Come on. He's over there now. Got some air there. Yeah, it's definitely a Chinook. Based off the fact that when he ran straight at me and I did not get any sort of tension on him and he still stayed on there. This is probably gonna just be a common Chinook. Yep. Turn him that way so we can see him. 13 pounds, 29 inches, 600 buckaroos. Toss her back out there and see what we get. It's not bad for a first fish. Gives a little warm up. It's been a minute since I played this again. Probably the last time I streamed was the last time I played this, honestly. A bunch of fish on the fish finder down there. A lot of big fish as well. Hmm. There's a fish. That looks like a steelhead. Yep, that's definitely steelhead. It doesn't look like it was a big one, but we'll take it. We'll get on the board with a steelhead. Will be the first one today. Oh, no. Don't you dare run at me like that. Make it. And I got barbless hooks on too. So it just means all the more likely of them popping off when they put slack in the line too. Come on. I don't think this is like a trophy or unique one just off of how it's fighting. It's fighting like that last Chinook did, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be a common one. In terms of size, no. No, please don't. Yikes. Yeah, there he is. There's Mr. Steelhead. Come on, you were done. No. Come on. Alright. Come on. There he is. Oh, it's actually is a trophy steelhead. 19 pounds, 35 inches. Boy, I would cry if I actually caught something like that in real life. Cool. Alright, so I think I'm going to reset this float rod here. I think we're going to chuck it on over off to the right this time. Over on the edge, over off to the edge over here this time. Let's see what happens over there. Let's see, yeah, and that's set. Alright, chuck that down there. Which row was I using? The river spear, I think. Gotta make sure we watch over there really carefully though, because without being on shore and having a rod stand that has the alarms on it and everything, I'm not gonna hear it. I'm gonna have to look for the bobber to go down. Some more fish on the screen there. Just gotta give him the bite. Another good little group of fish. Alright, nothing in that cast. I'm gonna reset this again. I don't think we're deep enough. I only set it for 60 something or something like that, so it's probably only about 5 feet deep. To the max, 107 inches. Yeet it out there. And have it sit. There we go. Go back over to the river spear. Chuck it out there. Alrighty. Then of course with using a spinner we could also get some, I think there's some smallmouth bass on here. Nothing big on here from what I remember. It's all like the young and the common size classifications. There are some striped bass on here that do reach the unique status on it. So those are going to be like 40 pounds. I've only ever caught one of those. Never caught more than one on this map. And that was a while ago when I got that unique striped bass. But our main focus is going to be the steelies and seeing if we can get a unique one. Started off hot, back-to-back casts. We had a fish, but it's not looking good on this one, unfortunately. There's a fish on it. Yep, there he is. It's a bass friend. And there we go. We were just talking about smallmouth, and lo and behold, there's one. 189, 30 XP. Not great, but we'll take it. Every fish is welcomed here. I believe we got to make that $17,000 in order to draw even on this. It's $9,800 for the trip and $8,000 for the license to go to this place. So we need about $17K in the fish department. Money. Someone was fishing for California roach on there. That's cool. I think they got on this. Ooh, there's another fish. Probably smallmouth again. I like on this game how they have the small little guys like that. Like it's not all just game fish, but there are some non-game fish. Like it's pretty cool that they tailor also to the buck 95 there, 31 XP. Cool. I like how they tailor to the species guys as well. Not just the sports anglers, but people who are life listers and like doing all that kind of stuff. That's cool that they do that. They don't have to do that. It's pretty nice, actually, that they do that. Come on. We need another fishy now. Hmm. I wonder if we're going to catch fish in twos today, because that was the second of a back-to-back cast that we got fish on. Wonder if we're going to be catching them in pairs this morning. Welcome, welcome, whoever popped in. Doing a little bit of steelhead fishing this morning, seeing as how I can't catch one to save my life in real life right now. This is the only way I can really get my fix for it. We got one in the boat today so far, 19-pound trophy one. So we're gonna see if we can pop and catch one of those uniques. I mean, look at all the fish on that graph right now on the bottom right hand of the screen there. You would think we'd be able to catch at least one of those. There's another two right there. Three. Two big ones. Three more. Ooh. Had a bass take it just now. Well, that's good that we got some life there. Hit the ground. Alright, get it back out in there. They are not wanting to egg him a snack today. Might change out that rod. We might grab the bottom rod and throw out the minnows, like I said we might do earlier today. Because it's weird that they're not taking Egema snacks. It's a big mark. There's two big marks on the bottom. Yeah, I think we're gonna flip over to minnows instead of the egg sacs. And we're gonna see if we can get anything off of that. Ooh, got bumped. Right at the boat again. Alright. Gotta give the fish what they want. They're hitting the spinners, not the egg sacs. So we're gonna give them what they want. Give them some shyness. Chuck it there. Oh, it's only about 4 foot there. Oh, no wonder why my stuff isn't working that right. Got my stuff set for 107 inches for depth. Alright. Let's try this again. Now that I switched over to the bottom rod, surely we're going to have the problem where we got multiple fish on the line. We'll have someone hit the spinner and something grab the bottom bouncing rod. A lot of fish down there. 4, 5, 6. 6 marks. There we go. There's one on the rod. we got on there? That is a striped bass, actually. So a new species for the video so far. What line am I running on that? 18 pound, and that almost broke on that. Alright. Get it back on there. Yeah, that didn't take that didn't take long at all for that rod to get whacked. So since that rod got whacked like that, we're gonna just keep. Bam! Look at that, another bite already. This is better fish. Looks like it's another striped bass. Yeah, that's my guess, is a striped bass off of what I'm seeing in the water. Oh yeah, it's a good one for sure. This should be at least a trophy sized one, based on how big the shadow is. See him dancing down there. Come on. It's a good size one. Yep, trophy striped bass, 28 pounds, 40 inches, $1,400 and 418 XP. Pretty good gains right there off of that. That's for sure. More than paid for the shiner I caught him on. That's for sure. Check it out there. They're definitely like definitely liking the minnows down there for sure right now. Definitely where I'm getting. Look at that. It's getting whacked again. Just put it down there. We might put the spinning rod down and get the float rod out there with a shiner as well. Like another striped bass. 500 basically. Take it. If that rod gets whacked again in short order, we're definitely going to be switching from the lure rod, and we're definitely going to be doing the float rod with a minnow on it for sure. Because that is definitely working there. I think we just put that out and we already got 5 or 6 fish off that already. Something crazy like that. Let's see if we can get on the spinner again. Don't see nothing chasing it to the boat this time. Of course, now that I did all that great talking up about the minnows, we're not gonna keep catching fish on it that way now. Ain't just that the way it goes. There's definitely some fish down there on the graph again. Just gotta get him to commit. There was one. Missed him, didn't stick. Let's try a crankbait. Do I have any of the 6 footers? Yeah, I do. It's too heavy for this rod though. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we'll put the spoon back on here, or spinner. Where are ya? There it is. Gonna get out the bait caster now. I believe these are nymphs. They're on here, right? Nymphs. Does the steelhead eat the nymphs? The salmon do. The steelhead will too. Okay. So everything's gonna eat the nymphs that we're really targeting here. Steelhead, salmon. I don't know if the striped bass did. I didn't really take a look at that. See what we got here going on. Ooh. Oh, got hit. That was uncool. Got hit and there it is. Come on, get out there. Pick it up, go on. What do we got out there? Mr. Smallmouth. I basically just threw him out of darn water. 161 bucks. 2.22 pounds. We're gonna throw it a little bit off to the right this time. A different spot. See if we have to wait as long again. Come on. We know the steelhead. We want steelhead today. And we're basically getting everything but steelhead today. There's a fish. There's a steely. Got him. Got his butt. Okay, we can only go to 5 clicks for the drag on this guy. Let's say they surely should have got one on the nymphs. Come on. This looks like it's gonna be a regular size steelhead, or the common variant as they call it on here. It doesn't look like he's overly big or anything like that. Still fighting pretty well, that's for sure. Where's he going? Come on. Oh, stop running, come on. See, this is the cool part that this game replicates, is you have to do some really light stuff on here for them, like you would in real life. And of course, they kick your butt on here, like they do in real life. Hey Daniel, how's it going, my friend? Come on. Come on, pop in. Come on! Good, it's always good to hear when people are doing good, my friend. Come on. Alright, done. He's kicking some butt still. Come on, boys. £8. Nothing, yeah, I know. Nothing to write home about. Hey, Max, how's it going, my bud? £8, $519. Not bad. Looking for the unique one today, guys. It's not good, but not terrible right now. I'm doing good, Max. We're doing okay. We're not killing it, but today wasn't really the optimal day to really do this level anyway. But I wanted to do some steelhead fishing today. I was going to go out in real life and do it, but it's everything's running a little bit high after our recent meltdown yet again. It's been very difficult to even go out and do any of that stuff right now because everything is either going to be, well, at this point, everything's either frozen right now, or when it isn't frozen, we are getting that stupid either dumping rain or we're getting snow, and then the snow is melting, and then we can't really fish it. So it kind of sucks. I believe I'm level 51, Daniel. I'm not too sure. I don't really remember. I just come on here and I just kind of putz around with the stuff. I don't really worry about grinding it out. I just kind of go on here to fun. Level 40, dude, it's impressive to get up there, honestly. Like, without having a premium account, dude, it's you're basically riding struggle bus. It's almost as bad as War Thunder in terms of grinding. Ooh, there's something down there dancing after the nymph. Oh, it was a steelhead. But yeah, I will say that their events, like their Halloween events and stuff like that on Fish Planet and their 4th of July, I will say that it actually is significantly more doable. You had the same pack as me. Yeah, the gold pack, honestly, if there was going to be one thing about this game that would say that you should buy on here, and I'm not a proponent of doing like basically like cosmetic packs and stuff like that and add-ons with most of the stuff, even though it is a free game, it would definitely have to be gold pack. It's just such a perfect thing if you're just starting out in the game, because it comes with, I believe, what? There's a two bottom rods in there. One's a little bit thinner backbone. There's the thicker backbone bottom rod like I got out. That's perfect for catfishing and stuff like that. There's that float rod that it comes with. What else is it? A couple bait casters, a heavy duty bait caster. Like it's and a couple heavy duty spinning rods. And I think it came with the ultralight too. Like it's perfect. It's literally perfect for like any sort of like beginner to get. And then it comes with the pond passes. Yeah, that's another thing with that pack is it does give you some money to do it with. That is the only thing that's kind of a pain in the tuchus too. Another map, if you just want to go and you just want to get your money up and stuff like that. The Congo map pack, where you get the pond pass for like I think it's 30 days or something like that, and just strictly fish the Goliath tigerfish, dude. Each one, if I'm remembering correctly, was like 10 or 20,000 or something like that. It was something ridiculous, dude. That's how I got all my money back, basically, after I spent most of it from not finishing up the days there and doing and drawing even on it. Like this map, I have to fish until I get like 17,000 because I think it's 9,800 to travel here, or it's for the licensing and it's 8,000 for the licensing and stuff like that. I'm not too sure. I don't really remember it offhand. Alright, let's see. What else are we going to have here? I want one unique steelhead. That's all I want. Yeah, that's I did buy the Amazon pack too. That was, oh god, I just got throttled. Um, I bought that one just to fish it for a couple days. It's not nearly the moneymaker that the Congo was, or at least not with how I did it anyway. It just seems like the Congo is just a much easier map to make some money on. I mean, all you really needed to use there was the crankbaits. That worked pretty well. Getting one of the heavier bait casters and using poppers, because that was really cool to use the poppers for it too. And you can also use like a float rod and just put on some live shiners on there too, or the large minnows. And that rod's going off. And if you use the shiners, I think it's like what, $950 a pop per 12 or something like that. So when you get fish that are worth a couple K each, it's pretty easy to make your money if all you're using is the shiners, or you'll make even more money. What is that? What do I have here? Striped bass, cool. You make even more money doing the crankbaits, obviously, but it's not as effective as the shiners. The shiners, when I went on there, they were just fairly regular bites for sure. And then just like everything on this game, if you play it and you fish the zones during the quote unquote hot zones that they make for the days, you'll be pretty busy in terms of action and stuff like that. You just got to make sure you got the wire leaders and stuff like that, the thicker wire leaders. That if you do buy the pack, I do believe they give you them. I believe they're 78 pounders or something like that. I don't really remember exactly all the stuff that came with it, but I do believe they did give us the wire packs, which you would definitely need for them for sure. Because I tried even just using thicker fluorocarbon for them and stuff like that, and they just kept snapping off. So It will, however, I will say though, with doing that heavy braided wiring line on there and fishing for the Goliath tigers, is that it's going to pretty much, you're only going to be catching those guys specifically because of the poundage. I think I may have caught one of the bigger catfish species that they have on there, maybe once or twice, but for the most part, it's going to be strictly a tigerfish bite on there for sure when you do that heavy wired line on there, that's for sure. But the Amazon map, that's a cool map. It's huge. It's fairly large. Fishing IRL. Oh yes, I do, Danielle. So if you go check out the channel, the main channel, that's basically all I have on there is all real life fishing videos. I kind of stream on here just for funs and giggles when there's not really like now how I said that most of the creeks and stuff like that is frozen and not really fishable because they're too dirty or stuff like that. Biggest fish I caught, that was probably 2 years ago. I caught a 22-pound king salmon out of one of the creeks up here. If I'm remembering correctly, she was 22 pounds. Got a lot of eggs out of her. That's for sure. We use the eggs up here for tying up into little bait sacks and stuff like that with nylon mesh, and using them for the steelhead trout and browns and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. That was definitely one of the bigger ones that comes up there. Most of them will, like the big ones top out at about 30. Like a really big one is 30. $12 or $16 is a reasonable goal for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That's the cool thing with trout is if you get the lake run or the ocean run variety, you can definitely easily cross that threshold for sure. What was it? Last spring I went fishing on the lower Niagara River with my buddy who charters and stuff like that, and we actually did manage to hook and land 3 that were over 10 actually. One was probably close to 12 or 13 just because of how big she was. She wasn't even really like long. It was still like a 30-inch fish, don't get me wrong, but just because of the girth on her and she hadn't laid her eggs for the spring yet, she was just so heavy from him. There's a fish. Bam. Oh, this is a little small guy. Hello, Dexter. How's it going, my friend? 2.5 pound, $182. Not bad, not bad. Eat it? Yeah. I have not heard anything good about the smallmouth in terms of eatability. Steelhead I've had, there's a lot of people, when I talk to them up here, they love to smoke them. I do know most of the people, when they catch kings up here, if they catch them fresh off the lakes during the spring and the fall when they're still in that silvery phase, a lot of them will kind of still cook them up like restaurant quality and stuff like that, where they see like grill it and all that other good stuff. And then more so in the fall when they start going from that silvery to getting that brown green color, then it seems like most people will pop it out in the smoker and make some salmon jerky out of it and stuff like that. Most people, it seems like they don't really care too much for the taste of them after they start doing the color change, and it makes sense because once they start going into creeks biologically, their clock starts ticking and they slowly start the decomposing process. Any tips for cooking northern pike? All I know, my dude, is that there is a bone in there called the Y bone, if I'm remembering correctly. And that's one of the more difficult things to fillet because of that Y bone. I've never personally cooked pike myself. I don't catch a lot of pike. And when I mean I don't catch a lot of pike, I mean in the 5 or 6 years I've been fishing, probably seven, close to seven now. I've caught one pike. Now, really, I've heard they're delicious. I have heard that. Yeah, there is slowly starting to get some ocean fishing. Like the Everglades has a portion of the map that has some ocean water to it, and I believe Blue Crab Island also is got a lot of saltwater species. They definitely need to start adding some more of that to it for sure. Yeah, but I've heard pike is delicious. I haven't tried it myself. I've tried walleye. Walleye was really good, and I am not a big proponent of eating fish. I don't really care for it. I kind of don't enjoy that fishy taste that's associated with most fish, but I will say that the walleye didn't have almost any fishy taste to it. It did if I didn't cut the fat off of it perfectly. Then it would have a little bit of a fishy taste to it. But what else have I tried? I kind of taste perch a little bit. I kind of had like a little nugget of it. That was pretty decent. But walleyes is really the only thing I'll eat. But that's also just because I haven't tried anything else really. I've never caught a pike. Oh my goodness, I got smoked. Ooh. A little action there for, it's been a while. I think I'm going to do a quick, after I get this guy in, we're going to reel in that minnow. We're going to do a quick time switch to get it up into the hot zone, because there's not much going on right now, really, from a fish standpoint. Where are you fishing for carp, Daniel? Because I can basically fish carp around here where I'm from, up in New York. I can basically just get like a the $60 ugly stick combos that are 7 foot, and then putting on like 8 pound line on there, and then just using a bait holder hook and canned corn, and I can just have a field day. Romania, yeah. Yeah, you guys hit the carp over there pretty hard. That's one of your big main sports fish over there. Yeah, you guys got to use some fancy stuff out there for sure because of the fishing pressure they go under. Yeah, I can see how that would cost a pretty penny pretty quickly. Well, if it makes you feel any better, because you see, yeah, yeah, those are the fun carp, dude. There's a couple spots in my creek I can go and get the common carp that are usually in the 10 to 20 pound range. And I know what you're talking about when you need nice stuff for them, because that first initial run they go on, dude, is pretty comparative to a king salmon's run all the time though. But usually after that first run for carp, and they don't really do too much after that besides dig. Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, when we do steelhead fishing up here in the Great Lakes, we usually use the same in terms of that $390 you'd be paying for 2 rods is usually the cost of one of the reels that we'll use up here for them, which you might hear of them over in Europe, because I know it's popular over in England, something called a center pin. So basically it's a dragless fly reel and stuff like that. Those are usually a pretty penny, and then the rods that are associated with them usually go for another 200. So most of the time, minimum, you're talking a $500 setup to fish some of the steelhead stuff up here. But that's just if you got like really fancy into it, like I'm into it. You don't have to drop all that on it. You can just use a regular. You can get like a longer noodle rod, like a 10, 11 footer up here, and just put a spinning reel on it, and it would probably cost you maybe $100, $150 max. But I will tell you what, from personal experience with both this. Oh my goodness, we got cranked all the way over there. Yeah, that's that's one of those things again where if you really get into it, and it's not just doesn't apply for carp fishing, it applies to all fishing. If you really get into it, you can get really fancy in a lot of that shit with it, and quite frankly, it probably does. Some of that probably does make a big difference in your landing and hookup ratios and stuff like that for sure. But the problem is who number one, who's got the the time to really sit there and invest that much money into it for the most part and actually be able to fish all that stuff and figure out what they want as far as that, because I know you guys do have different flavor boilies and stuff like that just off of what I've seen in this game and what I've seen people use in real life for it and stuff like that. And some of that can get pretty fancy, and there's a lot up out there, and I'm sure it's just like us over here in the States where there'll be a lot of different options for you, and some of it's to catch fishermen and not so much to fish for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. So my guess is why the boilies will work better than just sitting there and using a feeder is because a lot of people use the feeders, I'm sure, and those carp are going to eventually get wise to them. And most boilies, you get boilies in pretty small sizes, so it's almost like a quote-unquote finesse style of presentation for them. And a lot of times when those carp, or just fish in general, get hit hard, you have to go really tiny and small for them, just so that way it's more of a finesse approach to it, and they'll be more inclined to bite it. I do know that happens up here a lot with some of the steelhead and salmon that we fish for. They'll get slammed so hard that they'll start picking up on bigger presentations, and you have to use stuff that's almost pretty much identical to what it is in the river systems and stuff. And quite frankly, when that starts to happen, I hate fishing like that. I like to use large and abstract and weird looking things. I think it's a lot of fun catching them on stupid stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's probably something you have to do most of the time, honestly, because if you want to get a bite, that's what you're going to have to do for them. Oh, I'm going to lose this fish. Not getting... Oh, got back in there. Catfish over in Europe, I heard Spain is the place to go for some catfish over in Europe. They got those big Wells catfish guys that get up to 100 pounds. That's where I've heard to go get some big catfish is Spain. I could be wrong. There could be some hidden gems out there that they've kept quiet, but that's what I've heard are the big mamas for catfish. Which is actually pretty interesting because Spain is a very warm place. And I do know that catfish like warmer places, but some of those temperatures I've seen for Spain, they get pretty hot. Like, you wouldn't think so. 50-pound catfish? Yeah, I wouldn't see why that's not obtainable around there, for sure. As long as you got, like, the Wells catfish and stuff like that, for sure, because those Wells get big. And quite honestly, the only reason why they get so big in Spain is, from what I've heard, is weather. It's warm all the time, so they don't really have to find places to hide and keep hibernating and stuff like that. They can just continuously feed and grow. They don't have to worry about hibernating and stuff like that. Alright, come on in. There we go. Alright. That's a decent Chinook. Alright, we're going to reel this up because we got to before we change the time. And then we're going to flip it over. Thank you, bud. Still looking for that unique steelhead, though, that's for sure. We're gonna go to 1700, 4 o'clock. Toss it out there. All right. Oh God, what did I do there? I was using the bait caster. That's the cool thing with living in the United States is that we can do... So up here in the Great Lakes region, we have 3 in the morning? Oh, yuck, gross. Yeah, it's midday. It's midday here for us over here. It's 1 o'clock over here. I had the day off from work. I haven't really had a like fishing related thing that was not like a tutorial how to tie up certain rigs and stuff like that. I haven't had that on there for a while, so I figured I'd pop on and stream this for a little bit. Let's see how it goes. We're definitely catching fish, like I said, for sure. We're not getting the ones I want, though. That's the only thing with that. Now that I fast forward it to the hot zone for this time of game, we should be tuna. I've heard tuna's pretty good too. I've never tried tuna. Uh, there's what's his name? Another YouTuber to watch that does real videos as well is Robert Field. He does he kind of charters out of Panama and stuff like that. He used to live in Texas and Florida and shoot some stuff, and then he started guiding over in Panama. One of his buddies owns a business or something like that. He's got a couple videos where they go out there and they're doing jigging for tuna and stuff like that. It's not like the full-fledged like trolling. It's more like they're fishing out of kayaks and they're kind of accidentally catching them sometimes, unless they find them grouped up and stuff like that, and then they'll obviously kind of sit on them and stuff like that. But that's a good guy to watch if you're doing looking for some tuna videos to watch. Hey, we all gotta start somewhere when we first start fishing, my dude, because I know when I started fishing, there was a creek behind my house that connects to Lake Erie. And if you don't know what's in Lake Erie, it's kind of a little bit of everything. It's got some smallmouth in it, some largemouth, more smallmouth than largemouth. We got the Steelhead, so basically it's a lake-run form of rainbow trout. There's a few brown trout that they used to stock in there, lake-run browns. They used to stock them. I've never caught one out of an Erie tributary. I have seen them get pulled out of there before. They used to stock king salmon, coho salmon. They used to stock those. I personally hooked into a king out of that creek about 2 years ago. I actually did hook into one of them. That was probably the coolest catch I've ever had coming out of there. My brother did hook a bowfin out of there before too, so we did get to see a bowfin popped out of there. Never seen one since in the 7 years we fished it, but that was cool. There's some yellow perch that'll come in there. No walleye, and I don't think I'll ever probably see a walleye because it's mostly shallow for the most part. There's usually like 3 or 4 foot holes, and the walleye aren't going to really sit in those. I don't figure too much. What else? We do have some channel cats that'll get up into the 30-pound range. That's kind of like the biggest of the big, though, when they start getting up into that range, though. What else do we have going on in there? We do have some sturgeons. We're not allowed to fish for them, though. They're endangered or critically endangered or something like that, so we're not allowed to target those. And there's not a lot of them, and we haven't. I personally don't know anyone who really knows where they'll consistently sit and stuff like that. You'll see them if we go on Lower Niagara during spring and stuff like that. We'll see a lot of them kind of jump out and stuff like that and splash, but for the most part, you don't really see them. Yeah, see, you're just starting. Still got a lot of learning to do, my dude. I mean, that creek that I fished behind my house, it really took me about 6 years to really figure out and really know where the fish will sit in there now. So I can go down there and basically catch fish almost every time I go now. And I was thrilled catching, 7, 8-inch rock bass, and every once in a while, we'd catch a 12, 14-inch smallmouth. And we were living large, and then on days where we'd have a lot of water in the creek after we got a lot of rain and stuff, I think the biggest one we pulled out was over 3 pounds. So we were like, oh my God, this bass is so big, it's huge. And then now that I've kind of gotten spoiled and I have oh, there we go, finally a fish. It's a smallmouth. Now that I kind of got spoiled, I've kind of, like, this 2.5 pound bass, I would kind of just go like, that's nothing. After seeing that area being out in the lake, most of them are cookie cutters at about 3 to 3.5 now. And some of the big girls push 6. My brother actually caught a 6 this fast fall when we went out with my buddy and did some smallmouth fishing and stuff like that. And I lost one that was probably equally as big, if not bigger, that same day. Also, that video's up on the channel, actually, if you want to pop in and look at that one too. That was a big fish that popped off my hook, that's for sure. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere, my dude. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Is doing some Google searching and some YouTube searching for sure. I don't know how they have the fisheries management stuff set up like that in Romania, if you guys even have anything like that that's really that in depth like it is over here. But over here, when you come over here and you do like the states, if you just like say if you went on New York State's fisheries thing, there's quite a few things that they provide for you for that. There's like a couple of like, here's some places to fish that are public access. Here's a species list of what's going to be in the waters you fish. Here's some tips. Here's where they usually hang out and stuff like that. The DEC does, at least up here, I don't know about other states, they have a couple of things listed out like that. 50-pound, that's a damn nice mirror carp, I should say. That's not a nice mirror carp, it's a damn nice mirror carp. I don't think we really have anything aside from the common carp up here in New York State. There might be a few mirrors here and there, but for the most part, it's common carp. I do know down in the southern states, the grass carp, or is it the Asian carp? It's either the Asian or the grass carp. One of those two carp species is growing to be fairly big and a big-time nuisance down there, to the point where they're basically got a catch and kill order on them, because they're just going through and they're just destroying everything like it's nobody's business. They're just eating so much of the vegetation and crap, which is unfortunate, but that's just kind of how things happen when people bring stuff over here that doesn't really belong. I mean, if you look at the state of Florida is just basically one giant invasive species freaking state. I mean, they got peacock, which peacocks were from South America, so those are not natural at all. There's the snakehead, which came from over in Asia, if I'm remembering correctly, not natural at all. What else do they have over there? They have the clown knifefish. That's another one of those guys that not native to Florida at all, from Asia again, I believe, and that's gone in the canal systems in there and stuff like that. I don't remember if any of those guys are causing a problem. They hollered the snakeheads were causing a huge issue, but the one video I watched with Robert Field, that guy I was telling you about, he did a trip with the State Fishery Department of Virginia the one time for snakehead, and from what I remember, they said that so far, at least anyway, that they haven't been as huge of a problem as the grass carp / the Asian carps have been, for sure. At least not yet. That remains to be seen, I guess, if they will be a nuisance. I personally, I've not seen any damning information myself where I would say that that's probably going to change, but who knows? I mean, if you look, the lionfish down in Florida too, it was a huge problem too, and trophy steelhead. There we go. We're in the right direction. The lionfish down in Florida were a huge problem too, and nothing was eating them. But it seems I have been reading some articles where they have said that the fish are slowly starting to figure out that if you go at them from the front, they're not really gonna get stabbed by their pokey fins. So now they're starting to get eaten a little bit more regularly, and they're not as damning. I mean, they're still uber dangerous and destructive, don't get me wrong, but they're not top predator, nothing's eating them, keeping them in check anymore. And again, that's another one of those fish where the state of Florida actually has a kill order on those guys for sure. The snakehead, they don't. They just have you can't transport them to other bodies of water. You can kill or keep them. There's not a limit on them from what I remember, but you have to release it in the same body of water you got it out of. Yeah, 200-pound line. Yeah, the 200-pound catfish line, dude. That's you're fishing for a Wells catfish, my dude, and you're in some really thick stuff. You can get any pound fish on any pound test line if you want. I mean, that 22-pound king I was telling you about, I believe I got that guy on 12-pound test. It's all on how you fight it, honestly. If you fight the fish and you know how to fight it properly and you have enough line on the spool, you can get away with some pretty light stuff if you wanted to. I mean, for the steelhead I fish for, I have most of the time I usually put 5-pound fluorocarbon test on there, and most of the fish I'm catching are 5 pounds. So it's definitely, that's just a breaking strength. That has nothing to do with the size of the fish you catch. But I totally agree with you though. 200-pound fishing line is ridiculous. Quite honestly, that would probably chop up your hands the minute you went to go cinch that knot down, dude. That would be almost like fishing with a rope at that point. So we just caught that last steelhead, and we got another one on there, so... I mean, 200-pound line, I think that they only really use that in the ocean for the most part, too, so... And a lot of the ocean guys that I've watched on YouTube, they don't even use above 25 or 30 pound for the most part either. But I'm also not watching guys who are going for shark and stuff like that. I'm usually watching snook, tarpon, barracuda, mangrove snapper, stuff like that. Come on. The minnows were doing great earlier, and the shiners are just not catching nothing right now. We're going to try to put the smaller hooks on, and we're going to try switching over to some spawn sacks, I think, and give that a try. And see how that goes from there. Because that rod has been very, very quiet, and I think we're going to switch over to a inline spinner while the nymph is catching for us. I've also gotten popped a couple times. Ooh, a ski trip to France? That sounds fun. I hope they're not as rude to you as I've heard they're rude to tourists. My Spanish teacher, funny enough, I do remember a story of her. She told us in Spanish class where they did do a class trip to France, and they were very rude upon finding out that they were Americans and they were trying to speak French. No, I'm talking about the country, not necessarily a specific person. I've just heard the country as a whole is a little bit rude when it comes to tourists. Again, could be wrong. That's just what I have heard from people who have had experiences there. which I'm sure that they have probably went into the touristy areas, and I'm sure that the people who live in the tourista areas are annoyed with tourists who they themselves are probably very rude, probably. That's not bad for a trip for a week. It's about $100 a day. That's not bad. At least not in my opinion, that's bad. That is what most charter captains up here charge to fish for just a day. It's $500 up here just for one day of fishing, and you're gonna ski for a whole 5 days for $500. And clothing 380, yeah, so about 800, about 1,000, yeah, about two, yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, if you use that clothing yourself in Romania, I mean, it's not really, to me, that's not an expense at that point. Because I myself bought a ice suit for when I ice fish and stuff like that. And there's absolutely no reason why that when I go out in the boat with my buddy out in the lower Niagara when it's cold and we get north winds, which is like the worst wind to be out on anything in Ontario because it's a straight airstream from Canada, and Canada right now is absolutely frigid, so you're just getting a straight shot of that. There's absolutely no reason why I couldn't use that ice suit out in the water. So that to me is kind of got a double usage. And same thing with you. I'm sure Romania gets cold, so you can just use those clothes to like go out and shovel or do whatever else you gotta do and stuff like that. And there we go. There, we're getting some steelies on the spinner now. Cool. I just gotta be careful though now because this is a barbless spinner. Come on. Still looking for that unique steelhead. What I might do actually is I might back the boat up a little bit more and see if I can get, because that fish finder's for all the stuff underneath. I mean, there's some huge fish underneath the boat right now. I'm just not getting them. It's another good steelhead. What are we at in terms of cash too? That's something else. I got $9,987. Yikes! We are nowhere close. Drawing even. I mean, technically we're about halfway there, but I'm not gonna. It's nothing on you, Daniel. I'm not gonna be playing with anyone that I come across on here, and that's just because that eventually, at some point, I'm hoping to take off to the point where there's a lot of people watching at any given time, and I don't really. It's obvious. I'm obviously not gonna be able to play with anyone, and I don't want to have people say like, "Oh, you're not being fair." I just don't want to deal with the associated drama that will go along with it. It's nothing personal on you. It's just I just don't want to deal with the drama that comes with that and having a lot of hate towards me and then towards the people I play with and stuff like that. It wouldn't be fair. Wouldn't be honestly. I could take the crap that'll come from it. It's just I don't want people going after the people that I would play with on here. I appreciate the offer, though. As it is, I from filming up here, real fishing videos, I already catch a lot of flack and fire from people. Even as a small channel, I'm still catching flack and crap from it. I just want to keep it to a minimum. I mean, that's gonna happen with everything. You're gonna catch flack and fire, but I, eh. uh, you just need the right person to get angry at you, and I don't want to make the right person angry at me. My buddies had friends who were would film and stuff like that, and then the one buddy of his actually was out fishing the one time, and he got death threats for it. He's got death threats to the point now that he carries a gun around on him, and I quite frankly can't blame him, because you never know who's gonna, you should take their stuff seriously, and you should always assume it's gonna be serious. Let's see. Come on, Mr. Steelhead. Yeah, but when people ask your real name on there, that's I don't understand why people have to know everyone's real name. Come on, fish. Ooh, Mr. Bass. Yeah, I mean that's kind of I don't understand people's fascination with knowing everyone's real name. I mean, there's a couple guys on here that I was friends with before I started doing YouTube and stuff like that. They just knew my online name, and then over time just kind of told them my real name and stuff like that from that, because they saw my videos and they heard my name. They'll, even though they know my real name, they'll still use my gaming name. I don't even think it's a question of whether or not that's my actual name at that point. I think my real name's kind of obsolete to them. They'll strictly just use my gaming name on here. Yeah, that's how some people are, Daniel, unfortunately. People can be jerks. Especially if you've ever seen a salmon run in the Great Lakes. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. If you can go on one of those and you can find one of those in the Western New York area, specifically the Western New York area, if you can find a video of people going up to like Burt Dam or Oak Orchard and stuff like that, dude, and watching how many people are there, and watching some of the crap that they get caught doing, my dude, you think we're a bunch of animals. And I mean, quite frankly, some of those people are a bunch of animals. mean, it's bad enough the way that they treat the fish that they catch sometimes, let alone the people that were fishing for them as well. Oh my goodness, we were getting torched by this king. I think this is going to be a trophy-sized king, just how it was fighting. Yeah, it was nice talking to you too, Daniel. If you're out for today, have a good one, my friend. Yeah, sure. Have a good one, my bud. I pop on here and stream every once in a while. Thanks, I appreciate it. There's a lot of cool real fishing videos to check out for sure that I have on there, my dude. Usually posting every 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to make streaming a more regular thing on here. Alright, catch you later, Daniel. Have a good one, bud. That guy popped off. Grr. Alright, I think I'm going to reel this in. I'm going to reset the boat, like I said I was going to do earlier, and I still haven't done it yet. It's only 7 where you are. 7 is pretty. And my dude, I personally, I love my sleep. So the minute I even have reasonable time to get some sleep, I usually do it. Alright. I would like to catch a unique steelhead, because I think once I get one of those, I'm going to call it for the day. Because I have been on here for about almost 2 hours. Alright. Yeah, 10, yeah, I usually crawl in bed by 7. I usually don't fall asleep till 10:30. Yeah, that sounds like about like me, how I sleep. Alright. We move back a little bit. Let's see if this helps our cause here. Come on, fish, cooperate with us. There we go. It's a little smallmouth. Dang it. Where are the big girls at? We got 2 trophy steelhead so far. I don't think we had that many steelhead period. We're probably only at 6 or 7, unfortunately. You're getting a little bit of everything except for those guys. I might go back to putting a shiner on. that rod. The Agama snacks are not working on that rod. Maybe I'll do small minnows once. Yeah, I'll see if I have small minnows in my bag. Yep, you fit right into that. Right in that 9 to 10 category. Come on. Give me my unique steelhead. There's a fish. There we go. Ooh. Well, I don't know if it's going to be the unique one that we're looking for, but it's going to be a decent sized one. That thing is just torching me right now. Come on, fish. Come in. Yeah, fishing is definitely relaxing. I'm at the point where I don't necessarily have to be catching fish to be enjoying myself when I'm out fishing at this point. It honestly seems, since I have also adapted that attitude towards fishing, it seems like I actually catch more fish that way. I don't know if that's, there's actually some, science to prove that, but I just feel like I do better in terms of numbers and size when I just go out there and just have fun with it and relax with it versus going out there and pressing. Oh God, he's running at us. Oh, yeah, we're not getting that. Oh no, we kept him. I mean, I am keeping a fish log this year, which I don't know if I'm going to share that yet. I might do that. That's something I thought about doing. I would definitely. There's quite a few things on there I would have to black out and blur out because I got spot locations, what I used for it. There's a bunch of stuff on there I don't really want people knowing. There we go, another trophy one. We're getting the trophies and not getting the uniques though. Arapaima or sturgeon? Ooh, that is a tough one to pick. Arapaima or sturgeon. I feel like sturgeon would be a little bit easier one to go out for. The reason why I say that is because they're a little bit more readily available. I mean, Arapaima is basically South America, and that's it. I mean, sturgeon, you have them over in Europe, Russia. We have them over in America. I'm sure they're in other places, but those are just the big places that I can think of off the top of my head. So they're a little bit more readily available, I would say, versus the Arapaima is kind of just like literally one continent. I feel like that would be a little bit easier for you to get a hold of that way. And again, that's the cool thing with living in the States is that we got such a diverse species thing. If I want to fish for bass in the morning in spring, I know a couple bass spots I can fish for. And if I want to fish for these guys, the steelhead in real life, there's a couple of those spots I can go to. I mean, spring and fall, there's no better time to fish up around the Great Lakes because it's one of those you don't quite know what you're going to get. You can fish certain spots, and that's the majority of what your catch can be, but there can also be a few wild cards in there, too, which is the cool part. We are a little spoiled with our fishery over here. I mean, I kind of think down in the South states it's a little boring to fish, but even down in the South they have some. I don't think as diverse as we are, but they do have some cool stuff. I mean, the landlocked southern states, you got your bass. There's a few southern states that have the mountains that they'll have their trout species, like their actual real trout, like wild trout. Not like ours. As much as I love my steelhead and stuff like that, for the most part, those guys are fake. They were raised in hatcheries and they were put into the wild. There are a few naturally born ones that are wild, but there's nothing that was natural about their introduction. It was definitely man introduction. Same thing with the browns, same thing with the salmon. Those were all brought over from the Pacific as far as the salmon and the steelhead. The browns actually came over from Europe. Those were native to Europe. Another steelhead. We're getting the right stuff now, that's for sure. Now we need that one big girl. I'm ready to do some sheephead fishing up here too. Well, anyway, the southern states, the ones that live on the ocean, those are the guys that are going to have the most diversity because the world is literally the ocean for them at that point. They can do some bass fishing in the morning and then switch over to snook tarpon, dolphin fish. Like, they could do all that stuff if they wanted to. I have never heard of fishing with Carl, in all honesty. I mostly watch the local guys that are local around where I'm at. John B. I watch John B. every once in a while. Robert Field I'll watch. Addicted Fishing. I'll have to check him out, though, and see what he's got on there. Basically, I watch species-related stuff to my region. Lawson Lindsay's another one that I watch. And he's saltwater in Florida for the most part. He does a couple Amazon trips on this channel. I will say a good tip for you, Daniel, when it comes to any sort of fishing, is to learn whatever fish you're fishing for, learn their biology. I know it is not the most pleasant and fun thing to learn, but I will tell you that learning a fish's biology greatly helps catching them. Learning what they need and have to have and where they're more likely to get it from and all that stuff greatly helps with your fishing chances for sure. When I first started fishing, I would just kind of chuck stuff around and very random places and get frustrated not catching nothing. And then the more I started watching videos on where fish like to hide, what they need, what they're likely to be eating, all that stuff, the more that I shrunk down bodies of water into pinpoint areas. I mean, I do that too. That's just not a you thing either. I mean, I'm pretty sure every person in the world who is really into fishing, anytime anyone anywhere starts talking about fishing, you start getting excited and pop out of nowhere. I could attest to that one for sure. Alright, come on, Mr. Spinner. Excuse me. Do some good work for us here. Yep, fishing is indeed the magic word. Anyone who fishes is that's their magic word. Or does anyone want to go fishing? That's really the magic words. We're up there with treats for dogs. That word is my dog's magic word right there. As soon as I say treats, the ears shoot straight up, and he's looking for them. Come on. I wonder if changing the color of the spinner is going to make any sort of difference. We're gonna try that next. Yeah, lure. That's when we're talking about catching fish and not so much fishermen instead of fish. That is one of those. It's one of those things. That catches a lot of fishermen, not so much fish with the lures. I know myself. I have that same problem where I have a lot of lures and stuff like that, and I only usually use the same ones at this point. This goes up to 1/2 ounce. Yeah, learning about fishing is so much fun. It's so interesting. I don't care what anyone says. I love learning about fishing. The more I learn, the better, dude. Like I said, the more you learn, the easier it gets too. I will say though, the days I never caught anything were probably the days I learned the most. And those were the crappy days, but you learn a lot when you don't catch anything. Because I know there's a couple spots around here, like, yeah. Oh, there's a lot of things with. Oh, there we go. Yes. Switched to a spoon and got popped. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things with fish and how they eat their food. I mean, if you check out the saltwater sheephead, you've seen their like how their teeth are and stuff like that, dude. It's crazy. They're very, very people-like, and how their dentition is. It's very interesting. It's like why? It's one of those things where you sit and you wonder, like, why are things the way they are? Like, from learning about their diet, like I've learned that their teeth are designed specifically for picking off, muscles and stuff like that off of, pylons and stuff like that. But then you look at us as humans, as a species, and you see that, even though our dentition is very similar to that, but we eat entirely different things. Yep. Isn't that cool? That they can just have enough mouth strength and tongue strength where they just crush their food like that and they can eat it like that. It's very cool. There we go. Switch to some small minnows. and that rod is finally jingling again. I get a feeling this is going to be a smaller trout, or it's going to be a small bass. It's a smaller bass. Yeah, it would be very annoying to have a bony tongue. But our tongue is also designed that subconsciously for us to kind of roll our food into like a ball almost, and then we swallow that, and then our stomachs break down that ball. And if you think about it, like if you really think about it when you're chewing and stuff like that, you'll actually notice that that is something that does happen. And it's just weird how we do that. Oh yeah, for sure. If your tongue was bony, yeah, definitely. There's actually a really interesting parasite. I don't know if you know about it, that actually kind of eats the tongue of whatever organism it affects. And every time that fish or whatever it is eats, it gets a little piece of the food, but it's a parasite. It actually eats the tongue. That's a pretty interesting little critter as well. Kind of a very creepy critter, but interesting nonetheless. I mean, the creepiest thing about our parasites up here in the Great Lakes, we get the lampreys and stuff, so they're that little snake-like ass thing and stuff like that. They use their teeth and they kind of burrow the teeth into, like basically like a vampire almost. That's kind of the extent of our water parasites that are really kind of creepy in my opinion. Leeches too. Leeches are another one of those ones that are really weird. See, I'm a firm believer that fish definitely feel when we hook them, for sure. I mean, pain is a survival mechanism. That's one of those things where your senses tell you, like the same thing like when you touch a stove that's too hot, and your brain, sends that pain signal that, hey, this is too hot, back away from it. It's designed as a warning, even though it hurts us. It's designed as a warning system for us, so that way we know to avoid that. And like I said, with the burning your stove, so you know not to touch it again, because it causes damage. I mean, burning your skin, if you touch it for a little bit, it might be a little bit red. You leave it on even longer, you get some, your skin starts dying. And then if you leave it on for a really extended period of time, then you obviously get those severe burns that causes, damage, skin damage, nerve damage if it's, your skin's on it for a long period of time. All that stuff. You don't really feel things anymore. It is, but it also isn't. Some of the things that it does are stupid, but I think that's kind of every organism. Sometimes it does stupid things. Like horses, if you look at horses, I mean, if a plastic bag rolls by the right way and they get scared of it, basically their stomach will flip literally almost like... Their stomach's not like ours, where it's that single thing. It's kind of like, I forget what they call it. It's basically got like 3 or 4 chambers to it. And basically what happens is the horse literally, it's called colic, and the horse will like literally die from it, from getting scared. Now that's obviously an extreme example, but I have read articles and stuff where that has happened. And it's kind of silly that the horse gets spooked by a plastic bag, but that's just kind of how it is. I mean, for as well made as we are as humans, I mean, if you think about it, especially during allergy season. I mean, what happens during allergy season? A little piece of pollen gets in your body, and your body literally tries to kill itself because there is a piece of pollen in it. I mean, I understand the immune response to it. It doesn't recognize it as a foreign invader, and it's trying to kill it off, and it's assuming it's a danger to it, but at the same time, like, it needs to chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's overreacting to something. And I know the body is as smart as it is not smart enough to fully comprehend that it's just a piece of pollen and it's nothing that's going to cause damage to you and kill you. But some people's bodies do that. And some people's bodies don't do that. Which is again the interesting thing about it. All right, Mr. Spoon, come on. Bring us the fishies. I just think that's humans in general for the most part, Daniel. I get bored you talk. That just happens. Plane? Oh, dude, don't even. I love planes too, my dude. I should say certain planes, because I love World War II stuff. I love World War II stuff to the point where when I play War Thunder, which is a free to play World War II game, it's got some World War II stuff and some modern stuff to it. It's to the point where I have all the gun millimeter size, all that stuff memorized. You want to? There you go. I was about to say, you want to shut your boat off? I'm trying to focus over here, buddy boy. Alright. Don't know too much about that plane, though, that you have. Like I said, I'm mostly a World War II junkie. The tanks and stuff, I know most of the tanks and all that stuff. I mean, it's one of those interesting things I've always... Again, it's fascinating, like the human body, how much in the... What was it, 4 or 5 years of that war, how much things changed and how quickly they changed. How fast people put stuff together like that. Ooh, there's a smallmouth going for my spoon. Yes, he got it. That's a better one, 3 pounds. I'll take that. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing in terms of size for the steelhead, really. Just kind of catching a little bit of everything right now, unfortunately. Oh, that was a steely. Why didn't he get hooked? Gar. Yep, there's a lot to do with starting one of those planes. That's one of those things I've looked at doing too for a job, is planes. It's just a lot of schooling that goes with it, and it's expensive. I already went to school for one expensive thing. Come on, fish eyes. Because usually the hard things are interesting. There's a lot to learn with them. There's our Steelhead. It's a steely. I don't think it's big enough though. Oh my goodness gracious. Riding the struggle bus in terms of getting the unique today, but getting all the other stuff. Come on. Ooh. Oh, I thought he was going to stay at the top like that. Look at just yoink him. Stop running. The only thing I really wish that Fishing Planet would do with, where is this guy going? With their fish models is while I love the colored up king model, like how it's pink and everything, I would love to see it like if you go on the Alaska map, and the closer you are to the ocean, like if you go down towards the bottom half of the map, they would actually get like silver and stuff like that. That's the only thing I wish that they would change up. And like the steelhead, like when they're fresh off the ocean or lake or whatever body disconnect to, like the color that they have on them now is perfect for that. And then once they've kind of been in the river system, they kind of get those nice dark red marks on them. I just wish they would replicate some of that. Yeah, the F-16 is that's a nice bird too. 9.5 pounds. Cool. We're gonna, oh, I was literally just about to pick this up and move this to something else. That's a striper. Cool. 17.7 pound trophy striper. Not bad. 887 bucks. We're gonna flick this one over there this time and give that a twirl. Go back to the Lux caster. See ya, bud. All right. Yep, no problem, bud. Come on. There, got crushed. Oh, he popped off after one jump. What? That isn't very cool. That wasn't very cool at all. Gar. That's got something on it. On the minnow. Come on. Ooh, Bass Boy. 200 bucks. Cool, cool, cool. Chuck that back out there. About 8 feet out there. Dang. Alright. Let's give him the old spoon again. Come on, Mr. Steelhead. Let's try one over by that grass. Nothing there. Come on, game. Oh. We are at the right time for him. We should still be in the hot period for fish bites. I mean, it's not like we're not getting bit here. We're just not getting the big ones to bite yet. There's a fish. That's a steelhead. There we go. It's a decent. I still don't think this is a unique, but it's a steelhead. We at least got the right species. Kicking my butt all the way out there. This thing is not coming in. Come on. He is still out there a long ass ways. Come on, fish. Turn around. Uh-oh. Let's fish him another rod. Ah, crap. Well, this is a predicament here. The fact that it hasn't popped off the rod has told me all I need to know about how big it is. Come on. Come on. Hurry, 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 hurry. Oh, that's just dirty game. Gonna really kick off the line as soon as I get my stuff out. Alright, let's give him shiners. Gonna dip that right there. Gonna drop that there. We're gonna change the size of the spoon. We're gonna put a bigger hook on and a heavier one, in the hopes that we're gonna. It's too heavy though. Do I have a bigger rod that can handle more? Yeah, it's a negative. Ugh. Damn it, man. Hmm. 1 ounce, but it's got a 4-aught hook. Let's try that. Come on, fishies. We need a steely. Big old steely. Just got bumped. Come on. They do have polarized glasses on here now. I do wonder how those actually are. Like, does it actually help you see the fish underwater like they do in real life? Or is it just kind of one of those, takes the sun glare off? Ooh. Woo! See the bend in that rod, boys? Woo! That's a Chinook. Dang. Not bad for a change of pace fish, for sure. Get a little king action going on there. Do straight retrieve on the spoon. What we got on there? Looks like a striped bass. Yep, that's what it is. Alrighty. Got hit on the spoon again on the reel end. Didn't stick though. There we go. Woo! Dang, this fish is ripping out some line. Uh-oh. And the fish on the rod. Uh-oh. What do we do, boys? We're gonna get this one first. I think this is a Chinook. I don't know what this one is yet. I haven't seen it. Yeah, strike timed out. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen, game. That's kind of what happened when we got a fish on the other line here. I still haven't seen what this is yet. Oh, dear. I saw some pink, and I think it's a king. Come on. Ooh. This guy ain't stopping. I wonder if this could be a trophy king. Come on. Come on in. I do think after this fish, though, I am gonna stop. I've been streaming for 2 hours already. We'll call it a day. So this could be, yeah. Well, that's what we'll do. This will be the last fish for the stream. Ooh, yeah, definitely a king. Come on. Alrighty. Last fish of the stream is a 16.9 pound Chinook, aka the King Salmon. I appreciate everyone who popped in to say hello. I'll try to do a stream on a weekend day next time, just so that way there's just going to be some more people and stuff like that. More of you regulars out there can watch it if you guys have managed to make it this far in our subscribers. I'll try to do that sometime on the weekend as well. Thanks to some of the guys who stopped in today and chatted. I appreciate talking to you guys. It was a lot of fun. Next video is going to be released in, I think, not this week, because this weekend, not this coming week, but the following week. I'm going to release one. I'm going to try to have a Steelhead video Oh, well, it's not gonna be the last one, but I will do the outro while I'm doing this. Gonna try to have a video for you guys, Steelhead, or ice fishing, relatively soon. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good one, guys.